Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Shalom. Today, na Sunday, number 8 day for this month of January 2023. My name na Capo Daniel. I am the Deputy Defense Chief, the Anti-Kidnapping Czar of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and the spokesperson of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Pass King, una own countryman. Una welcome to our daily podcast, a program where we speak the truth, where they bring una meaningful information, fact-based analysis for help we as we the worker for this journey to our freedom, the independence of Ambazonia. Good people of Ambazonia, we go start today with the breaking news where it come from yesterday meeting where it take place for the colonial capital of Yaoundé, the country where they recolonize Ambazonia under the leadership of their president, the mad dog and terrorist Paul Biya. Paul Biya, yesterday, after receiving guests, international diplomatic corps, and members of his government, made a speech where he reversed the speech where he make for first of this year. As if he give an early speech, he promised he could fight Ambazonia, he could kill all Ambazonia. Inside him mask, he report for international engagement for negotiation and dialogue. But yesterday, the Mad King Paul Biya, in front of the administrators, the diplomatic corps and other dignitaries, he make a speech where he acknowledge and commit himself for dialogue and negotiation as the only solution for resolve the conflict with Ambazonia. After 5 years of calling Ambazonians terrorists, the president of the Republic of Cameroon, he then commit himself for negotiation and dialogue in that speech. And in the speech as well, he makes certain statement where he talks, I'll read as quote. He said, "I would like to reiterate here that Cameroons remain committed to peaceful resolution of conflict through dialogue and negotiation." This commitment will be made by Paul Biya after over 4 million Ambazonians that be affected by the war, after over 3 million Ambazonians that be displaced, over 1 million of them in Nigeria, and over 2 million of them internally displaced. In amongst those 2 million, over 1.3 million that don't find houses for their relatives, and some of them sleep for streets, even in La Republique, while others are languishing in the forests, some living in farmhouses. The American government and the international community be done talk for Paul Biya. Say this thing is handled in negotiation, not by the barrel of gun. Today, even as Paul Biya, he declare a commitment for negotiation and dialogue. He bushes them, he army them, therefore bush, they see wage war against Ambazonia, killing and targeting innocent civilians. The Paul Biya also call on the international community for back the efforts them where they talk. In a strange statement, Paul Biya talks, and I quote, "It is incumbent upon every state to take necessary and useful measures to maintain peace within its border or in its neighbor's border." That one was strange because he was talking about Ambazonia. If Paul Biya is now calling and acknowledging Ambazonia as a neighbor, that is too good to be true. A quote from Bo Herbert, who was very surprised about the possibility of La Republique du Cameroon acknowledging Ambazonia as a state. We believe in our nationalism. It is the reality of international law. It is real to us and our people, and Ambazonian independence is inevitable. It is not too good to be true. It is what we deserve. Justice for Ambazonia will mean Cameroon acknowledging the truth about our history and relationship with them, which is one of two independent and sovereign states. That is the reality. It's not too good to be true. It is true. The Ambazonian leaders had also gathered to respond and to explain to the Ambazonian people about pre-talks that took place in Canada. A flyer have been put out, and the joint message that was supposed to be delivered to the Ambazonian people by the leader of the Ambazonian Governing Council, Dr. Cho Lucas Ayaba, the leader of the APLM, Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga, the leader of the consortium, John MBAH Akoruh, and the leader of the IG, Yerima Dabni, for Sesekwa Yoktabi. The joint declaration and joint conference to address the Ambazonian people was postponed and instead the leaders sent John MBAH Akoruh to speak on behalf of the leaders.
Fellow Ambazonians, accept liberation greetings from me, Comrade John MBAH Akoruh. Today is a very special day in our liberation movement. For well over 6 years, we have toiled, we have faced and overcome challenges, and as a people, we have also been able to overcome even internal divisions in our midst to continue to trot our path towards freedom. Today is meant to be a special day, a very special and important day in the history of our liberation movement, of our quest for freedom, and our quest for absolute independence. My dear people of Ambazonia,
John MBAH Akoruh went ahead to explain a little bit details and tell the Ambazonian people that due to ongoing engagement and development, the leaders will jointly appear to the people and explain themselves and accounts to the people subsequently. We will have a special edition of a podcast to bring you deep analysis and presentation about the speech that was delivered to the Ambazonian people on behalf of the Ambazonian leadership by John MBAH Akoruh. It's a historic moment, and it's also a time for unity where we have seen the main leading blocks, the most consequential Ambazonian properly constituted organization coming together to speak as one man, one block for one territory, Ambazonia, for our interests and the aspiration of our people for nothing other than the pursuit of absolute independence of our territory. Fellow Ambazonians, during this period, due to our transition into a transitional period where the Ambazonian Governing Council is instituting the ADLA, the Ambazonian Transitional Liberation Authority in Ground Zero, that have pushed forward an education policy which have been embraced by all Ambazonians. These have resulted to thousands of our people. Over 20% who have run into La Republic have returned home. The population is massive. We have opened community schools, Catholic schools, Presbyterian schools, and private schools, even against Cameroon banning of these schools that have been opened up under our authority and directions. The Ambazonian people are now having education in our educational institution in accordance with our liberation policy. No uniforms, no Cameroon French, no Cameroon anthem, and no using of our students for Cameroon propaganda 11 and 20th May celebration. This new reality is being a challenge to communication and in the mindset of our people. We want to let our people know that normalcy under Ambazonian control or Ambazonian territory is victory for our people. Normalcy should not be misconstrued as normality in La Republic to Cameroon control. Ambazonians have successfully driven away 80% of Cameroon's administrators around our territory, and those areas are liberated from Cameroon occupation, from Cameroon administration. Cameroon still have pockets of military outposts, but that can be seen only as outposts, contested territory, not a complete administration of Cameroon in our territory. We'll continue to fight, and we call on our people this time more than ever to observe the Monday Ghost Town, which is a sign that our people have demanded for freedom, independence from La Republique du Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, this is very crucial information that every Ambazonian should share wide and far. Inform Ambazonian citizens who are in Du in particular and in Garbo and near border areas there inside the Nsot land that La Republique du Cameroon terrorist forces have gathered with the Mbororo people that have been brought from Kanu, the former Boko Haram fighters. They have come to assist them. This is the route that was built for them by Ngala Gerard and some, they call him Alaji Basuru. You remember Alaji Basuru? He's the one who accommodated these Fulani people who are coming in from Nigeria. They have come, they have gathered both the one from Alaji Basuru and the one from Tadido. Tadido is the chief terrorist Mbororo Cameroon traitor, an Ambazonian Mbororo who have joined La Republique. He is responsible for bringing these Mbororo people to burn the palace in Magnon. They have gathered with Mbororo, both the ones at home, They have received the Mbororo people who have come in from Nigeria, Kano. They are now in SOP. Yesterday, they had a Cameroon military party that came there in 2 trucks. The Cameroon military numbered around 40 according to intelligence from our sources in Ground Zero. They are currently in SOP. They are preparing the ground to launch raid within the forest areas, working on foot. Our population should continue to monitor them, and all forces in Do, they should be alert and should understand what is happening. The people in Garbu also should be being great alert. This community can be targeted, houses can be burned, women who go to farms should not go alone. Women have been raped, all women have been raped by these same people. People have been cut off in their head. So we also want to tell our people who are in Wat, the ones in Wat, also in Bo, that even banana in Bo are all destroyed, because now the Fulani people have brought in cattle right from Nigeria, right from Du. They are all now in Mbo area there destroying crops. I have given one prescription as an activist, and I take responsibility for this. I don't say this as an official of the AEC. The solution for this cattle is one Ambazonian civilians is killed. At least 100 cattle should be killed. If the people in Du, they go into Wat and kill at least 50 cattle, law and order will reign amongst our Mbororo people, who have decided to remain silent. All of our Sarki, our Imams are all silent because they think that they benefit from it. They don't want to fight and defend their homeland. If they allow some of their youths to partner with terrorist Cameroon military and terrorist Mbororo people from Boko Haram to fight and destroy farmlands so that they will have more grazing land, then they will have themselves to be blamed. I have given one solution. Buy gamalin from Nigeria. Kill all those cattle and our people will live in peace. We have been living on protein from chicken, proteins from animals and insects, and we can survive without cattle. Any Ambazonian die, wipe them all from Isu. Every place they kill one Ambazonians, allow the Mbororo people alive, go for the cattle, wipe them all. That is a prescription I've given. If you want to have more information on how you can wipe out these cattle who have become an imminent risk to the livelihood of our people and the main reason why our people are being killed, please contact me and I'll help you. If you are in Ground 1 and you live in that area, you want to buy gamalin or all those things to wipe these cattle, please contact me and I'm going to help you to do that. Our life comes first. Our human life must be protected against all costs using every means that is possible. This is the only way we can do this thing. And in Manu, the ARF forces in Manu again have had an attack against a community in Anyang. We know very well that the Presbyterian moderator and the CPDM or occultic member have been using their relatives in this village to partner with the Cameroon military to go and attack Ambazonian forces that are in Manu. They cross and attack the forces in Manu and burn one of their camp in Ebinsi River up in Manu, and has provoked a retaliatory attack by the ARF forces in Manu that have targeted the Bache Anyang community. And the family members of these people who have been used to work with the Cameroon military to provide intelligence and actively engage in combat, we heard that 3 of them were killed. We are still learning this about the incidents. We have provided advice to Ambazonian forces that are in that area to avoid any provocation that leads them to attack even a family member that have been used. Those traitors should be identified and they should be taken care of who are directly involved, and collective punishment should be avoided at all costs. We understand the situations and we want to inform our public that anybody who partners with Cameroon terrorist military is part and parcel of their arsenal and will become a subject of a reprisal like we are seeing in that community. And we call on our people to continue to remain vigilant, and the ARF, which have abandoned their political leadership, it's a big challenge, and we ask them to continue to align themselves with the ADF and SOCADEF for proper military ideology and for code of conduct that will make them to work hard for their country and our country. And these are all eternal matters, and we will handle them as a sovereign people. Also in Bangui, the case in Bangui where the remnants of the TTA who have been there and have also lost touch with their leadership as the group have basically been dispersed also had an incident where a man was killed as a result, and we are with that community, and we have reached out to the forces and we advise them to align themselves with proper leadership so that they should not go hungry, and they should have a network that supports and protect them, and they should be a positive influence in their population. These soldiers are heroes who have picked up weapons to defend their countries, even though they have been abandoned by political leadership, and they themselves from the ARF have rejected the IG. We cannot force them that they must go back to the IG, but we can offer to them advice, and we ask on all communities to reach out to these forces to advise them so that they may stand strong and fight the good fight for our people. Every attack against an Ambazonian is counterproductive. Every unjustified or excesses is counterproductive, and we must all focus our energy to one enemy, La Republique, to Cameroon. Fellow Ambazonians, we also want to draw to your attention that one former Undersecretary of State to the United States, Herman Cohen, have reacted to Paul Biya's statement in a tweet where he says that time for Cameroon President Paul Biya to understand that the only way to prevent the emergence of independence of Ambazonia is to give Anglophone Cameroon virtual independence in a return to the original federal system abolished in 1972. This statement is rejected. We will not accept anything other than what our people deserve and the justice for our territory, which is for independence. And even though we engage in efforts to peacefully resolve the issue, we will never compromise Ambazonian state, Ambazonian sovereignty and territorial integrity, or put our life again in the hands of a foreign government. Our people should understand that when we engage in these issues that have been publicized, the Ambazonian Governing Council, the president of the Ambazonian Governing Council, Dr. Chua Yaba, immediately launched the Operation 200 AK. That is to tell you that the Ambazonian people are wise, and we will keep our gun close to our chest while we engage positively, and we are aware of international scheme. Negotiation is not a substitute for liberation. Negotiation is a product of our liberation effort. Our priority is to free Ambazonia and fight to liberate our homeland. And our focus to our people is to liberate homeland, to arm our forces, to make sure we punish Cameroon for its occupation, for justice to come to Ambazonia. We will never engage in negotiation as a means to liberate our homeland, but negotiation is a way that you conclude the defeat of the enemy, for the enemy to withdraw back to their own country. Let's keep focused, let's continue to fight, and trust the leadership that have emerged with a wonderful track record, which can all give us peace that the right people are on top of things. Now that Ambazonia have attained this unity, we hope that our people will realign themselves and focus to effectiveness and best practices to help us free our homeland. It's time for us to come together and support this leadership, and everybody should bury aside negative, baseless criticism and falsehood and lies, and focus to make things work. If you must criticize, make sure you are criticizing based on facts. Let us stop entertaining lies and sabotage and people who just simply want to cause confusion. The enemy always gain when that happens. It's time for us to build and bury hatches for the sake of Ambazonia. Capo Daniel, signing off.